Today we're gonna learn how to crochet a checkered case. These are the colors that I'm gonna use, and I'm really excited about this because I bought this cotton yarn last May and it was so beautiful but so expensive. And I've been looking for a project to use it for and realized that a checkered case, I could potentially crank a couple out of them. So I'm gonna see how much I have left over after this project. But this is a really soft and I love the colors. And this checkered is gonna be just like I taught my 4-year-old to say, chef's kiss. So I think this is where I should say hi. My name is Miranda. I have beginner-friendly crochet patterns available on my website, and this video tutorial is meant to accompany the pattern. Of course, you can follow along this video if you want to, but if you want to support a small business single mama, I do appreciate it. So the pattern is available on my website, craftymamamir.com. But today we are going to walk through how to do a checkered case. The pattern is going to include a size for a book, an iPad, and a laptop, because that's what I have and that's what I need cases for. I don't know why I thought this book would be so large, but I actually ended up with more space on this than I thought, so I could fold it over and only do, I could have only done 4 stripes and it would have still been checkered, but keep your little books warm, I don't know. Okay, so I have my iPad. I've been working on putting dimensions in all my patterns, so this pattern, I'm just gonna start off with the dimensions in there. So I will have dimensions on how to do a book cover, an iPad cover, and then a laptop cover. And if I haven't said already, if you find this video helpful, make sure you hit that subscribe, and we're gonna get to crocheting a case for my iPad. Like all of my patterns, we're not gonna just use one strand, but we use one strand at a time and crochet over it. I'll show you what I mean. This way you're not having to change out colors or weave in ends at the end. So it went really smooth and I was able to do it in a couple sittings. I don't have an exact time, but I do think as part of this pattern too, I'm going to time how long each row takes me to do and then just do the math and say it should take about. So this project will include time, but I haven't done it yet, so I can't tell you. All I do know is I did this on my drive to Easter, but we are gonna get started with this. To start off, this is the color combo that I used for this case, and both of the yarn types will be linked in the pattern. This one is not cotton, this one is cotton, so I'm excited to see how it'll feel working with this. Like I said, I bought it almost a year ago and haven't used it. So this color combo, I will link some fun color combos with this brand of yarn from Joann's, but we're gonna get started with this yarn. I highly recommend pulling from the middle of the yarn when you work. That way, if you're in a car or traveling, it's not going to run around and get tangled up. So definitely, if you can, pull from the middle. And this is where having a yarn winder really comes in handy. I have one linked on my Amazon storefront, available on my website under helpful links. You just need a basic yarn winder. But to get started, we are going to start with our 2 strands and we're gonna use them as one to do our chain stitch. So you're gonna lay the string over your fingers and you're gonna loop it twice around your index finger. So you'll have your left loop and your right loop. You're gonna take your left loop and put it over the right loop and keep it on the finger. And then you're gonna take the farthest left loop and move it over your finger like that. That is gonna create a little slip knot. There's a lot of ways to do it, but that's the easiest way that I find. Then you are going to put your hook in between there, find the shorter end and then pull it tight. And then we will start our chain stitch. So for our chain stitch, we are going to chain with both the colors, and the, I don't know, theory or concept behind a chain stitch is you're taking the bottom string, the bottom loop, and pulling it over the top. So that's why these crochet hooks, you kind of just hide that yarn underneath it, and you're gonna bring the bottom string over the top. So loop and back, loop and back, loop and back. So we are gonna continue doing our chain stitches and then I will meet you at the end. And then once you finish your chain stitch, we're going to add 2. 1, 2. From there, we're gonna skip those 2 that we just added on because those are gonna help us jump up. This is gonna be how we're gonna change colors throughout the pattern. So you're gonna go loop, under, make sure you go over the purple, loop, back, and you'll have 3 on your hook. And at this point we will drop the peach, and then you're gonna switch to the purple, loop, and go back like that. So now you're gonna pull that snug so that it's not super loose there, but you don't want it too tight that it cinches. And now we're gonna start with purple, go loop, under, and then when we go under, make sure that you lay the peach so that we're crocheting over it, loop, back, loop, and back. So we are going to continue that all the way around until we get back here, and then I will show you how to jump to the next row. I don't know what happened, but the original video I made cut out this step. So I'm going to show you how to do it again. So once you finish your foundation chain or your chain stitch, you wanna make sure when you are working into it, you are working into it the same way and it doesn't twist. So you wanna make sure, if you can see right here, that all the V's right there. So we wanna work into the top of the V's, and then on the way around, we'll come back into these bottom V's. And what you're going to do is after you finish the chain stitch, you're always gonna add on 2, but when you add on 2 here, you're going to drop the other color you're not gonna start with, and you're gonna just use this color. So we chained 1, 2, and we're gonna go back into right here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna loop, and you're gonna skip 2, so 1, 2, skip those ones, and go into the third one right here. And you're gonna lay your string over, and you're gonna loop, back, 3 on your hook, loop, and back. Okay, sweetheart. So then you're gonna loop, go under, make sure you lay the string over, loop, back, you'll have 3 on the hook, loop, and back. And to switch colors on your foundation chain, we are gonna go as normal with a half double crochet, and then when you get to the 3 on the hook, what you're going to do is you're gonna take the string that we were crocheting over, you're gonna loop and pull that back. So then the next time we go, we will take this color, loop, under, lay that string over, loop, back, loop, and back. And so we will continue alternating out, and then I'm gonna show you how to go around here. We are done with one side. So we have 1 stitch left here. Wait, 1, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 1 stitch left. And what we're gonna do is we are still going to change colors here. So we'll go over. And then what you will do is change the color here. And then we are going to flip our work, and now we're gonna work on the other side of the chain stitch. This is why it's really important that you don't twist your chain stitch when you go, because now you can see it has a nice line there. And then this is gonna feel a little wonky, and you can just, what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the first one on this side, and we will go right here, and make sure that you lay that pink or whatever the color is over it. My nail is busted. This is why this looks bad. But then you're gonna loop, back, loop, and back. And so it'll feel strange here, but eventually you'll get that little pouch look. And so then just make sure that you take those tail ends and put it out of there. But then we will just keep on going this way. So loop, under, loop, back, loop, and back. And we will continue to go all the way down this way, and then you will slip stitch to secure, and then chain 2 with only 1 strand, and then we will keep going in the round. I knew the color combo was gonna be good. I didn't know it was gonna be this good. I am loving it, but now I'm gonna show you what to do on that last stitch before we jump to the next row. And I am gonna include these dimensions in the pattern. However, it's really important that you hold it up to whatever you're working with, because this, how it lays right now, just about covers the iPad, but then remember, it does have a little bit of give. So this is gonna be okay, but just remember whatever you're working on to use whatever you're making it to as a size guide. But for the last one, what you're going to do is you're going to loop, go under, and then lay that color over it, loop, back, and then loop and back. From here, what you're going to do is, you can see we have our 2 chains that we skipped at the front or at the beginning of it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a slip stitch. So you're gonna gather both strings in your hand, and you're gonna not go in the 1 or 2 on the side, but you're gonna go in through the up top one here, and we're going to do a slip stitch into there. So you're gonna go under, you're going to loop, and you're gonna go back and back. And that is going to combine it. And then what you're gonna do from here is you are going to take the color and you're gonna drop the other string that you're not doing, and we're gonna be starting with the peach, and you're gonna do 2 chain stitches, 1 and 2. And those chain stitches allow your piece to jump up. And then we are going to make sure we crochet into the same stitch that we just came out of. Your chain stitch does not count as the stitch. Your chain stitch is what's gonna help you jump up. And then from here, we will continue on, and now it'll get a lot easier as far as crocheting over, so then you're gonna lay it over, but now it won't feel as wonky because you, of course I say that and I get wonky, but we are going to keep going around, and then I will show you what to do when it is time to switch the color rows. I am just about done, and it is so cute. The color combo worked so perfectly for this. So I'm just gonna show you how to switch colors. And then the next row, what we're going to do is a single crochet, and you just pick your favorite color and go with that color. And if your preferred style of crocheting is to not have to sit and count, the nice thing about this pattern is that we will start with the same color, and then when we get right here, we'll start with this peach, but then we'll switch colors there. So you can count if you want to, otherwise you can just follow what the color that was done in the previous row, unless it's a row where we're going to switch colors. But I am going to just show you. So again, a half double crochet is loop, under, and when you go under, you wanna lay that string over the top. You don't wanna pull it too tight that it scrunches, but you don't want a bunch of slack. And then you're gonna loop and back, and you'll have 3 on the hook. But Meta, mommy's doing a video, so one, quiet please. Loop, and then you go back through again. So I'm gonna do half double crochets, and I will meet you here to swap colors. So then for this one, this is the last stitch before we change colors. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna loop, you're gonna go under, you're gonna loop, and you're gonna go back. And when you have the 3 on your hook, that is when we switch colors. Then you wanna make sure you pull them nice and snug to the hook, but again, not too tight. And this is when you're going to hold on to the color you were just using, and you're gonna take your color you wanna add in, and you're gonna loop, and you're gonna go back. So that way, the stitch is still the same color that it needs to be, but then we just switch colors. So now, you are going to, and then make sure you pull that nice and snug so that it's about the same length as the rest of them, because what can happen is if it gets too loose, you'll have a lot of slack there. But then just like that, see? So if it gets too loose, we don't want it like that. So grab that peach and you're gonna pull it a little bit tighter there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the purple. So you'll loop, under, lay that over, loop, back, loop, and back. And that is how you switch colors. So now I'm gonna meet you here and show you what to do next. And again, when you get to the end of each row, and you can count to make sure you have the right amount of stitches, but then you're going to do a slip stitch to secure. And then from here, we are just gonna do 1 chain stitch and pick whatever color you want to be the top border. We're gonna go with lilac because I'm in my lilac era, but you're only gonna do 1 chain stitch. But then what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet over the top. And how to single crochet is you are just gonna go under, and still make sure that we crochet over this yarn because we're gonna bring it with the entire time. You're gonna go under, loop, back, loop, and back. So single crochet is under, loop, back, loop, back. And we are gonna do this around the entire project, And then you will do a slip stitch and then a chain 1 and pull through to finish your project. But I'll show you what it looks like at the end. And before you chain 1 and pull the string through, just make sure you pull it so that that string that's underneath isn't cinched up at all and then isn't too loose. And then we will chain 1. And I'm gonna need to go find my scissors. And we're only gonna chain 1 with this because we've only been working with this for a moment. And when I do the weaving, I am gonna tie these together and then weave them in at the same time. We're gonna cut it and then we'll pull that through. And then I will weave it through right here, tie a knot, and then weave these down this way. Yay! And we're done. The look is a slanted checkered, but as long as you do it consistently, it'll turn out the same. The pattern will reflect the sizes, whether you want to do a bookcase or an iPad case, and then I'm working on a laptop case too. What are you doing? Open. I did 1 extra block too many when I was doing the book, so it is helpful if you actually have the item that you are crocheting for in hand and can adjust accordingly. And if you have a yarn winder, this is where a project that it's going to be really helpful for, because if you are pulling from the window, because if you're pulling from the middle of your yarn, it's not going to run away. But here we go. Again, if you want to support a small business, the pattern is available on my website, www.craftymamamer.com, and it is called Kimmie's Case Pattern.
Mommy.
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 Can you say Crafty Mamamer?
Mama.
Mama. Can you say, we did it?
I did it.
You did it? Say ta-da.
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 Oh, hold it.
You want to hold the other one? Oh my goodness.
A pattern.
Yeah. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.